Welcome to Relaxed Reddit Readings. Today we have 4 Reddit stories for you. Reddit stories that made me question everything. Story 1. Got a cat right after my allergic grandfather died. So I got a cat 2 weeks after my grandfather died, and now my whole family thinks I'm heartless. Let me explain this mess. I've wanted a cat my entire life, like literally since I could talk. But my grandfather was extremely allergic to cats. We're talking serious allergies here. If I even went to a friend's house that had cats, I'd have to shower the moment I got home before being anywhere near him. Since I lived at home during college to save money, getting a cat was completely out of the question. Fast forward to 2 weeks ago. My grandfather passed away, and it hit everyone really hard. We were all grieving, trying to process this huge loss. And I know this might sound terrible, but one of the thoughts that crossed my mind was that I could finally get a cat. I didn't act on it immediately, I waited 2 weeks. Then I saw this adorable kitten at the shelter, and something just clicked. I adopted her on the spot. When I brought Mittens home, my family completely lost it. My mom accused me of being selfish and disrespectful to Grandpa's memory. My aunt said I was using his death as an excuse to be irresponsible. My cousin called me heartless for thinking about a cat so soon after the funeral. But here's the thing, I don't see it that way at all. Getting Mittens doesn't mean I loved my grandfather any less. If anything, I think he'd understand. He knew how badly I wanted a cat all these years. He saw me sacrifice that dream out of respect for his health. Would he really want me to keep sacrificing forever, even after he's gone? My family thinks I should have waited longer, maybe a few months. They say it looks like I was just counting down the days until he died so I could get my cat. That really hurts because it's not true at all. I miss my grandfather terribly. But I also don't think prolonging this decision would honor his memory any more than making it now. The way I see it, life is short and unpredictable. My grandfather's death reminded me of that. So when I saw an opportunity to finally fulfill this lifelong dream, I took it. Maybe the timing looks bad from the outside, but grief affects everyone differently. For me, bringing something positive and loving into my life felt like the right way to cope. My family thinks I'm being selfish, but I think I'm finally being true to myself after years of putting someone else's needs first. And now that Grandpa doesn't need me to make that sacrifice anymore, shouldn't I be allowed to make my own choice? Am I really wrong for moving forward with my life, or should I have waited longer out of respect? If you're enjoying these stories, hit that like button and let me know in the comments which story you relate to the most. Story 2. My wife's OCD ruined my birthday plans. So my wife completely ruined my birthday because she can't handle spontaneity, and I ended up celebrating alone. Here's what happened. My wife has OCD and is an extreme planner. She needs every single detail mapped out before we can do anything. If we're going somewhere, she needs to know the time, the place, what we're wearing, what we're eating, who's going to be there, everything. Now I get it, mental health is serious, but sometimes it drives me absolutely crazy. A while back, she asked what I wanted to do for my birthday. I've been completely burned out from work lately, so I told her I just wanted something low-key. Maybe grab some friends and hit up a sports bar, watch a game, have some beers and wings. Nothing fancy, just relaxing with good people. She seemed fine with it at the time. But then, without telling me, she went ahead and made reservations at this upscale steakhouse. I'm talking about a place where dinner for 2 costs more than most people spend on groceries in a week. When she told me about it the day before my birthday, I was honestly frustrated. I specifically said I wanted something casual and low-key. This was the complete opposite. I told her I'd rather stick with my original plan, just go to a sports bar with friends. That's when everything went sideways. She completely lost it. Started crying, saying she'd already made the reservation and couldn't cancel. She'd been planning this elaborate dinner for weeks, apparently. But here's the thing, I never asked for any of that. She made all these plans without consulting me, for my own birthday. When I suggested we could do the fancy dinner another time and just keep it simple for my actual birthday, she got even more upset. She said I was being ungrateful and that she'd put so much effort into planning something special. The whole thing turned into this massive argument. She kept insisting we had to go to this restaurant because she'd already planned everything out. I kept trying to explain that it wasn't what I wanted for my birthday, that I just wanted to relax and have fun with friends. Finally, I just said forget it. I told her I was going out by myself since we clearly couldn't agree on anything. And that's exactly what I did. I went to my favorite sports bar, ordered wings and beer, watched the game, and actually had a pretty good time. But when I got home, she was furious. She said I embarrassed her by not showing up to the reservation and that I was being selfish on my birthday. Now I'm wondering if I was too harsh. I mean, she did put effort into planning something, even if it wasn't what I asked for. But at the same time, shouldn't I get to choose how I want to spend my own birthday? Should I have just sucked it up and gone to the fancy dinner to keep the peace? Story 3. Roasted my food critic friend into oblivion. So I absolutely destroyed my friend in front of everyone because he wouldn't stop being a food snob, and now our whole group is split on whether I went too far. Let me paint you a picture here. I've got this group of friends who love trying new restaurants together. We're not food critics or anything fancy, we just enjoy going out, eating good food, and having a good time. Sometimes the place is amazing, sometimes it's mediocre, but we're pretty easygoing about it. We just eat and decide if we want to come back. Then there's Dylan. This guy has somehow appointed himself as our group's Gordon Ramsay. Every single time we've invited him out to eat, and I'm talking about 3 or 4 different occasions, he's found something to complain about. The service is too slow, the food is too salty, the portions are too small, the atmosphere is too loud. Nothing is ever good enough for this dude. It got so bad that we just stopped inviting him to restaurants altogether. We'll still hang out with him for hiking or fishing, but food-related events? Nope. Dylan's not on the list anymore. Well, recently we were all hanging out at someone's house, and Dylan started going off about restaurants in our area. He's sitting there, criticizing every place we've been to recently, acting like he's some kind of culinary expert. He was being particularly harsh about this one Italian place that the rest of us actually really enjoyed. That's when I decided I'd had enough. I looked right at him and said, Dylan, for someone who complains about food as much as you do, you'd think you'd have better taste. But considering your idea of fine dining is probably a gas station hot dog, maybe you should stick to eating at home where you can't annoy the staff or ruin everyone else's good time. The whole room went dead silent. Dylan's face turned bright red, and he just sat there for a moment before getting up and leaving without saying another word. Now here's where it gets complicated. Some of my friends think what I said was hilarious and long overdue. They're saying Dylan needed to be called out for his constant negativity and food snobbery. But others think I was way too harsh and that I humiliated him in front of everyone. They're saying I could have pulled him aside privately or just ignored his comments. The thing is, we've all been dealing with this behavior for months. Every time we want to try somewhere new or talk about a place we enjoyed, Dylan's there with his negative commentary. It's honestly exhausting, and it was starting to affect the whole group dynamic. I felt like someone needed to say something, and since nobody else was going to do it, I did. Maybe I could have been more diplomatic about it, but honestly, I think he needed to hear it. His constant complaining was ruining our good times, and maybe a little public embarrassment will make him think twice before being such a downer next time. Was I wrong to call him out like that in front of everyone? Story 4. My ex-best friend has been lying about me for 2 years. So my ex-best friend has been spreading lies about me for 2 years, and I'm debating whether to finally expose the truth and clear my name. This whole situation is honestly driving me crazy. 2 years ago, my best friend and I had a falling out. I won't get into all the details, but let's just say our friendship ended badly. Since then, she's been on this mission to destroy my reputation, and she's been pretty successful at it. The lies she's been telling people about me are absolutely insane. She's claiming that I've been stalking her, following her around campus, that I switched my major just to be closer to her classes. She's telling people I copied her tattoo design and that I deliberately dress like her to copy her style. But the lie that started this whole mess is that I supposedly went through her phone and invaded her privacy. Let me be crystal clear here, I have done absolutely none of these things. Not one single thing she's accused me of is true. But people believe her, and it's been devastating. Over the past 2 years, I've lost a bunch of friends who chose to believe her version of events without ever asking for my side of the story. Other people in our social circle either ignore me completely now or are just straight up rude to me when we cross paths. It's like I'm some kind of pariah, all because of her lies. The worst part is watching people I used to be close with treat me like I'm some kind of stalker or creep. I've had to deal with dirty looks, whispered conversations that stop when I walk by, and friends who just completely cut me off without explanation. It's been incredibly isolating and hurtful. For 2 years, I've taken the high road. I figured eventually people would see through her lies, or the drama would just die down naturally. I didn't want to stoop to her level or create more drama. But honestly, it's not getting better. If anything, it seems like the lies are getting more elaborate and reaching more people. Now I'm seriously considering putting together all the evidence I have that proves these stories are false. I've got timestamps, photos, class schedules, text messages, basically everything that shows her accusations are complete fiction. I'm thinking about sharing this with our mutual friends and maybe posting something on social media to set the record straight once and for all. My family thinks I should absolutely do it. They're saying I shouldn't have to live under this cloud of false accusations forever, and that people deserve to know the truth. But some of my remaining friends think I should just let it go and move on. They're worried that fighting back will just create more drama and make me look defensive. I'm torn because part of me wants to just put this whole thing behind me and start fresh. But another part of me is tired of being painted as this terrible person when I know I did nothing wrong. Should I finally defend myself and expose her lies, even if it means more drama? If you enjoyed these stories, drop a comment telling me which one was your favorite. And if you want more relaxed Reddit readings, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss a video. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed these stories, like, comment and subscribe for more relaxed Reddit readings.